Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Be more of an owner than a consumer. So as your business grows, that doesn't necessarily mean your personal life enhances in parallel to it. I see too many people pulling up to their $35,000 per month studio in a Lexus. Now, there's nothing wrong with pulling up in a Lexus, but there is something right in slowing that side down a little bit. We can achieve true financial freedom much sooner if we don't live so freely with our money earlier on. Too many people wait until they have what they call a lot of money, whatever that is to them, to invest. But the truth is you can begin investing today. I don't care how small it is, you can get started, start building those habits around it so that it's part of your life, it's part of the way you run things. So anybody in here have AirPods? Raise your hands. High up if you do. Yep, okay. It wasn't too long ago that I saw most iPhone users really just using the ear, what'd you call them, headphones, I guess, that just came with the phone for free. And everybody was super happy with those. And they plugged in, and it was great, and there was nothing wrong with it. I got them for free, and they were fantastic. You remember those days? I can't imagine too much change in our lives, but all of a sudden, Apple stopped giving those away for free and came out with $249 AirPods. Now, I go to the gym, and it feels like everyone's wearing these things. My 15-year-old son always has them on, usually just in 1 year walking around, and I feel like smacking him every time I see it. Apple did what we just talked about. They found a way to give a little bit more value and charge a little bit more for it. And that ancillary sale equated to over $23 billion in AirPod revenue. Check this out, in 2020 alone. 2020 alone. People were losing their jobs and running out of toilet paper while listening to Lady Gaga on the toilet on their brand new AirPods. So 23 billion, small hinges swing big doors. So what about on your side? What if instead of spending $249 on AirPods in 2020 plus a 9% tax you'd pay on it, you bought Apple stock and became an owner instead of a consumer? In 2020, that would have gotten you about 4.5 shares of stock, which today would equate to about $810. That may not sound like a lot of money, but it's $561 more than you pay for those AirPods, which is like you having to get new AirPods at full price every 9 months. At $810, that's a 225% return on investment in just 2 years. Now, what if every month you just invested $249 into something that can give you even a 10th or 20th of that return? There's a story about a man named Theodore Johnson. You guys ever hear of this guy? So Theodore Johnson worked for UPS. He never made more than $14,000 per year in his salary, ever. But in his old age, he's worth $70 million. So how do you do it? He looked at saving as a tax. So when you get taxed on anything, like food at a restaurant or a flight that you purchase to get here, you don't argue with it, you just pay it, right? Yep. So he just saved 20% of his income every month, and he looked at that money as a tax. You can't touch it, you can't use it. It goes right into an investment account, and about 5 decades later, it was worth $70 million. Now, for those of you that are really good at math and you're doing the calculations in your head, as nice as that story sounds, there are some points to consider. $14,000 back then is very different than $14,000 today. And he did invest pretty much all of his investment money into the company stock, which obviously UPS has done very well in that time frame. However, if let's say you take home $5,000 per month right now, which as a business owner, that's risked a lot. I'm hoping you do. And if not, that's okay. Today's going to be extremely valuable for you. 20% of that is about $1,000 a month. If you start investing $1,000 per month today into something that returns an average of 10% per year in 10 years, you'd have about $194,000. But here's the beauty in compound interest. You'd think that in 20 years, it'd be double, so about $392,000, right? Well, it'd actually be about $694,000. And in 30 years, it'd be about $2 million. Now, keep in mind, inflation is real. Your income will increase over that time as the world evolves. To give you an idea, 50 years ago, $5,000 today would have been like $750 back then. And if the world keeps going in that same direction, in 50 years from now, getting paid $5,000 today is like getting paid $34,000 then. Is that crazy to think like you're going to need $34,000 to live the way a $5,000 a month person lives today? It's crazy, right? But that's the way the world goes. So when you do that math, what you really got to start thinking is, well, yeah, $1,000 is 20% of my income if, number one, I never get more valuable, so my income doesn't increase just because I alone make more value, but also because inflation is going to go up, so I'm going to constantly be putting in more and more. Well, if you use an inflation calculator, which you can go on Google to check in, just type in inflation calculator, and you combine that with the math on a compound interest calculator, guys, you're going to be shocked. I had to do it 4 times a check. Your math would end up being to over $100 million if you do. 100 million. Now keep in mind, 100 million, it may not be like 100 million today, but still, damn, it's $100 million, right? So if you make the right move. So the question you got to ask now is, can you afford a place to live that's 20% less than you live right now? Can you afford a car that's 20% less? Can you afford things that are 20% less? And I'm not saying change any of the things that you got, but I'm saying for the future at least, right? Like before you go make a decision, just say, is this something I really, really want? Is this something I think I really, really want? Is this something that I need? Or if I put this money into the business, is it something that it really needs? And if it really got that, could it deliver something way more where I can get what I really want out of 80% of my income instead? Does that make sense? It's usually probably just a little bit more work to get what you want with 80% of your income. If you take that 20% you would have spent early on, you put it back into the company instead. You guys make sense of that? Yeah? Just patience. To go back to Warren Buffett, many successful guys like him and myself, the best investment that he ever made is in yourself. Okay, you guys are doing this all right now. You can lose your house, you can lose, stock can plummet, company can go bankrupt, but you'll always keep what you put between your ears. Warren Buffett claims that his best investment was on a course in communication. You guys taking the time and money to be here, learning what really, I don't even know if it's top 5%, it may even be less than that. If Keith Cunningham says less than 3% of people actually know how to read the reports, you right now are investing into yourself. So the more you know, the more you grow, as long as you execute. You guys agree? Yes? This is what you guys are doing right now. This is great. And honestly, some of these investments are cheap. A book's like $9, right? That's a really, really solid return on investment when you think about what a book can deliver if you execute on most of the things you learn in these really good books.